just touched down. I just got back from San Diego, and there's some really cool and exciting Toyota and Lexus news to cover today, which I'm sure you guys are amped for. Speaking of amperage, I'll be posting my driving impressions soon on this vehicle. Yes, I drove the Nissan Leaf, and I can't say anything about how it drives or anything like that. If you want to see my initial impressions of my first walk around, go ahead and check out that video. But this will be coming very, very soon. Make sure you are subscribed. I think it will be worth your time. All right. Also worth your time are these two articles that I find extraordinarily fascinating. Now, one focuses on Toyota production here in the US, and another one focuses on Lexus production in Japan. And there are big changes happening. And you better believe that we're going to get our truckloads of salt and put a whole lot of conjecture out there today. But guys, which one do you want me to cover first? You guys know Lexus. Let's cover Lexus first. I think this one's a little bit more of an interesting article. All right. Lexus marks its 20th year in Japan. It debuted in August 30th of 2005. Here we are in September of 2025, and Lexus in that time has surpassed the German brands. It is the best-selling luxury brand over in Japan. President Koji Sato addressed a crowd of about 5,000 people. Some of them were wearing celebratory t-shirts made by local dealerships. Okay, this was at the Nagoya International Exhibition Hall in celebration of Lexus being around for 20 years. Lexus was born, however, in the United States and North America, Canada included, in 1989, just like myself. It's a much younger brand in Japan. However, just because Japan didn't have Lexus badged vehicles didn't mean they didn't get the exact same cars with the Toyota badge. They did. All right. The LS 430 was the Celsior. The Lexus ES was the Toyota Wyndham. The SC 300 and SC 400, I think those were called the Soarers. All right. And then you had the Aristo and Altezza. Those were like the IS and GS. Okay. So they had all the Lexus cars just badged as Toyotas. But that all stopped in 2005 when they just made all those fancier Toyotas besides the Crown lineup. That's still a weird thing to this day. The Crown lineup is still weird because it is definitely a rival to Lexus, in my opinion, from my perspective, being sold under the Toyota branding. All right. Anyways, I've covered that topic a million times. What's interesting is that we had the kind of a plateau of the Lexus sales for Japan from 2010 to 2021. Now, we had a spike in pre-pandemic, right? But look what happened in 23 and 24. Huge, huge sales. 80% of their sales come from essentially NXRX and LBX. Of course, we don't get LBX. They say sales in Japan for sedans is of course weak. I made two videos on the IS, one for the Japanese market, and it pretty much pertains to our market, except we don't get the hybrid. We just get the 3.5 liter V6 with 311 horsepower. They talk about the LM a little bit. I wish we had the LM. I think the LM would work well. Here's the thing. They're saying that the LM is not doing that well over in Japan because there's so much overlap between the Alphard and the Velfire. Gosh, that one took a while to come to my head. The Velfire is a little bit sportier. The Alphard is a little bit more old school luxury. And the LM costs more, doesn't offer that much more. Actually, it offers very little on top of what the Alphard can offer. All right, so this is the thing. We don't get the Alphard or the Velfire stateside. So Lexus should bring the LM and have the only luxury minivan in the US and just see what happens. See what happens. I guarantee you. I mean, you can get the plug-in hybrid on the LM. Yeah, it's not the TX 550h Plus powertrain with the V6. I think it's the like the RAV4 plug-in hybrid or the NX plug-in hybrid. But that's still cool for a minivan. I'm still waiting for Toyota to have a plug-in hybrid minivan in the US. They could do it with an LM. They've shown no signs. And I was with Nissan last night. I'm like, you guys have to bring the Elgrand / Nissan Quest back to the United States. Minivan sales are going bonkers right now. Honda can't supply enough Odysseys. Despite that vehicle being old as dirt, it's still a fantastic van, very practical for families and very affordable compared to SUVs. Kia Carnival is up 50% on the year. I think the Sienna is up like 60% or something. Like, it's just crazy what's happening in the minivan. We're having a minivan resurgence. And here's Lexus with this trump card. That might trigger some people. An ace up their sleeve. And the LM would be absolutely amazing because there would be nothing in its path in the United States. But I don't think they're going to do it. Anyways, yes. Let me know if you guys want the LM or the Nissan L Grand back. L Grand e-Power, yeah. And at the Japan Mobility Show, I'm pretty sure the L Grand will be revealed there. So stay tuned for that because I will be. You guys know how much I love vans, and I will be in Japan for the Japan Mobility Show in about a month from now. All right, Toyota. Here's the crazy stuff. These last two paragraphs. Toyota will redefine Lexus brand value by putting electrification front and center. So let's stop there. Lexus has communicated that this Japan Mobility Show, just before Halloween, this Japan Mobility Show is going to be a rebirth for Lexus, a whole new re envisioning of the brand with new products, new strategy, new everything. I will bring that to you, of course, just like I said on the L Grand coverage, if it is revealed there. But Lexus is 100% bringing new stuff. All right, and they're saying electrification is front and center. Now, a lot of things go through my head. What does this mean? Does this mean, hey, are we going to double down and still push fast forward to fully electric by 2030? I think that's a genius idea if you say that's for the Chinese market. I don't even know if that's not even a genius idea for the European market. Despite what the laws say over there, the German automakers, the European automakers are telling the European Union, we can't go fully electric. We don't have the infrastructure for it. And there isn't the demand in the luxury segment, everything being fully electric, not by 2035, not nowhere close. All right. So will Lexus go put their chips all in on battery electric vehicles this Japan Mobility Show? Or are they going to do the Toyota thing and say, hey, multi pathway solutions? We're going to have hybrid, plug in hybrid, and performance hybrids, and battery electrics with all sorts of battery technology that we know they're working on behind closed doors. I think I think they're going to do the latter. I think it's going to be a multi-pronged solution. I don't think they're going to go all in on battery electrics. I think they're going to pull back on 2030 because they said, hey, in the United States, or should I say North America, not forgetting you Canadians out there, North America, uh, Europe, and China, Lexus has said 100% BEV lineup by 2030. No way is that happening. And I think there is a confirmation in this article to say that they are not going fully battery electric by 2030. So they're saying that production of many models will be discontinued this fall, and a partially redesigned IS is set to be released next year. Well, we know this. We know that the IS is getting their big refresh, right? New styling on the front and the back. All right. So what models could be discontinued here? Well, I got a few. I got quite a few takes here on this. I think here's the thing. Call me crazy. This is my hot take of the day. If I can find the car on here, let's start with sedans. We know that the sedans are not selling well. U.S., Japan, they're still selling well. Not in Europe. They're tanked in Europe. LBX sells the most in Europe at this point. All right, but the IS has just been shrunken down to IS 350 with a refresh. That's not going anywhere, but they're discontinuing IS 500, IS 300 as well. Okay, so that's two discontinuations. The ES is being discontinued, at least for this generation. We got the new liftback looking sedan. It's not a real liftback. It's going to launch as battery electric, no longer a V6, hybrid optional. All right, but it's not a performance hybrid and it's not a plug-in hybrid. So the ES is going to be a tough sell in the United States. It's not intended for our market, unfortunately. All right, but I think the ES hybrid will be fine. The next generation ES hybrid, they just need to make enough of them. All right, LS, like I said, I think here's my crazy hot take is the LS could be discontinued this fall and replaced with a new flagship. And what would that flagship be? Well, Lexus talked about a new rear-wheel drive platform. I don't think that platform's ready yet. That would be the new Supra, the new Lexus coupes built on that platform. Maybe Mazda getting in on the action is a rumor. All right. That rear-wheel drive platform's not ready for a new LS or an LS SUV that has rear wheel drive bases. All right. Are they going to do remember if we go to the future stuff, this is just LFZC, LFZL here. David and I, when we were at the Japan Mobility Show with this car, especially the ZC's coming, and it has been trademarked, but that's not coming to 2027. It's been pushed back. It was going to be 2026, but they pushed it back. And then this vehicle was the other one. So I think this is very, very possible that Lexus comes out. Well, they discontinue the LS and then they show something like this. All right, potentially fully battery electric flagship. Not excited for it. I'm telling you, I'm not excited for it. But if they have this as a flagship EV, look at what Hyundai's doing. Hyundai has a flagship gas and hybrid model, the Palisade, and a flagship Ioniq 9. I know that's not a luxury brand, but you guys know they have two SUVs. They're playing both markets, right? And I can tell you the BEV market in the US is not winning over the gas or hybrid Palisade, nowhere close. It's way too expensive and too compromised, but still a good vehicle. All right. I don't think I've put that review up. That review is coming on the Ioniq 9. All right. So this vehicle, they're probably going to come out with it more production ready, and more. I hope it's better looking than this. This is absolutely hideous. But I think what makes more sense, okay, you can have this for the Chinese market, European market. You can sell these by custom order, all right, in the US or in Canada. But I think the real vehicle that we need to talk about is the Toyota Century becoming a Lexus. They could call it the Lexus Century if they wanted to. That would make sense for me. I love the Phoenix. If this vehicle came without the Phoenix, I'd be a bit heartbroken, just like how the Crown in the US doesn't have the Crown badging. It has Toyota badges, which cheapens the car, right? They don't want to step too much on Lexus. All right. But if this is a Lexus, right, this wouldn't be badged as like a Toyota Century, be badged as a Lexus. I think this is a possibility. Plug-in hybrid could be standard here, for example, or fully battery electric too. Maybe they don't come out with the ZL for a while and they just have a fully battery electric version of this. That's a possibility. Apart from the LS being discontinued, trim levels of the IS, right, and some of the like the ES trims with the V6, I think the UX could be discontinued because LBX is kicking butt in the segments that this kind of occupies. There's a possibility that Lexus says, hey, no more gas engines only. We might be hybrid or plug-in hybrid and BEV only by the end of next year. They could say something like that. All right, if electrification is taken front and center here. They could also discontinue the LC this fall. That would be a heartbreaking moment. Unless they say, hey, we appreciated the LC. It was a monumental vehicle for Lexus. It really exuded the essence of Lexus. But they might also say, hey, we're going to retire the LC and replace it with the LFR. All right, because when you go back to Nikkei Asia, they say LFA next generation is moving forward. There have been some hiccups with it. They've been struggling with, I think, emissions regulations on it, even though it's going to be sold as a hybrid, in many markets, maybe even a plug-in hybrid. So they're having issues with it, but they need to have this car out as soon as possible so they can race it in GT3 racing and other circuits. So this car is coming, and since it's coming from Nikkei Asia saying we're getting a replacement for the LFA, the LFR is coming. Now, is it this car? Last month, we're about a month out from this reveal. This is a fully electric flagship. It kind of gives me some Polestar coupe vibes. Let me know if you guys agree with that. It's a gorgeous looking concept. And if the new LFZC slash electric IS looks like this, I think a lot of us would be happy. I get a little bit of Porsche vibes as well from it. It's just a very, very handsome high performance EV. I think solid state batteries would be in something like this, but we have no idea when this vehicle would come out. But I can guarantee it'll be at the Japan Mobility Show. All right. And I'll give you guys a walk around on it if it is there. I just said I guaranteed it, but I don't know 100%. It would be a complete fail if they didn't bring this to the Japan Mobility Show after bringing it to Monterey Car Week. You know what I mean? What I want to see is this car. I want to see the LFR. I want to see an electric and a twin turbo V8. Two different cars, two different flagship coupes. I want to see two different flagship LSs. One is a Century SUV and one as an LFZL. We'll have the new IS there, and you'll have the LFZC, which is like, hey, here's the refreshed IS, and here's the fully electric IS, which is the ZC. So you're going to have like next generations of gas platforms essentially, and you're going to have next generation BEV platform vehicles coexisting together. And it's going to be a thing of beauty because it's going to Lexus customers will have more choice than ever before. Is there anything else to unpack here? No, LFZC still scheduled for 2027. All right. Now, I did mention that I have some Toyota news for you. Toyota manufacture EV SUVs at US Kentucky plant. This is not new. Toyota said, hey, we're going to make three-row SUVs in Kentucky by 2026. Well, they're like, oh, no, actually, it was 2025 initially. It would have been at the end of this year. But they keep pushing it back for good reasons. So it's likely to be end of 2026 now. Now, get this, okay? Remember that they were going to build a separate three-row EV in Indiana where they build the TX and the Grand Highlander? Well, that's not the case anymore, okay? What they are doing here, and this is breaking news, we have two EVs, two three-row EVs, right, that Toyota's confirmed. One is based on the RAV4. This is a can of worms again, and the other one's a Land Cruiser. A Land Cruiser made in Kentucky and not in Japan? What is going on here? Well, let me explain. This is a vehicle that David and I walked around at last Japan Mobility Show, the Land Cruiser SE. All right, so it's one of two things. All right, hang with me. It's either this, which I know Europe is getting this. I forget the time frame. I could look it up. I have a document. But this is coming for Europe. I want to say probably 2026, 2027, which kind of lines up when we were scheduled to be building a three-row Land Cruiser. Well, Nikkei Asia doesn't say three-row. Toyota has said three-row, so I'm just piecing things together. Toyota said three-row EVs. Reuters here is saying RAV4 based EV, which could have three rows. Think of like Mitsubishi Outlander, maybe. I don't know. And then you also have this thing. Now there's a possibility that it wouldn't be this. There's a possibility it could be a fully electric baby Land Cruiser FJ. Let me know which one you'd rather have. They're both going to be electric. And me personally, I could do without this. I don't need another generic looking Land Rover wannabe sort of design out there. Okay. You guys might like it. That's cool. Variety is great. But I would rather have this as our electric car built in Kentucky. They can still build that Land Cruiser SE in Japan and send it to the US. The only chance of us getting this vehicle, this design, is not if they built it off the Hilux Champ platform in Indonesia or wherever they make that very affordable truck. It has to be made in the US due to chicken tax mixed with other import taxes at this point and other levies. So it has to be built in the United States. And what better place to make it than Kentucky, the world's largest Toyota plant? Maybe this is the one that's based off the RAV4. So if we go back to the Reuters article, the electric vehicles it plans to build in Kentucky will be based on the RAV4. Now, the RAV4 is hybrid and plug-in hybrid. We've been hearing for a long time that it was more than likely also going to get a fully electric RAV4. What if they just pulled the plug on a fully electric RAV4? Because it is confirmed now, well, not by Toyota, but by a reliable source that Reuters has, that we're getting a RAV4 base EV. Now, is it going to be a RAV4 EV? Of course it could be that. But this wording makes me think it's not an electric RAV4. It says based on the RAV4 and based on the Land Cruiser. Okay, so maybe it's both of these vehicles. Maybe we get this Land Cruiser SE. This is the 3-row potential. All right. Now, Toyota has said that they're building 2 3-row EVs. That would be suicide. Hyundai, Kia have fantastic 3-row EVs. They are not selling well. Okay, build a tiny little Land Cruiser, make it fully electric, make it move the needle, make it 4-wheel drive, get people excited for an electric vehicle. Styling has to be amazing on it. Is it going to be aerodynamic enough? Probably not. Looking at how boxy it is, but its cute factor and its charming factor is going to move a lot of needles and would get a ton of people into their first EV. I guarantee it. All right. But if it's just a RAV4 EV, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to do anything. It needs to make a splash. EVs have to make big splashes right now because people, well, they're timid with EVs. They don't want to make that jump. We've kind of hit that saturation point where the ones who want or have EVs already have EVs. And so something that is beautiful and is alluring, is cute, is something like this, a modern day kind of Honda Element sort of thing, as a fully battery electric Toyota Baby FJ, that would be incredible. And it has been trademarked for our market. All right. So Toyota could be building this and this in Kentucky. All right. Time will tell though. So I know this was a busy video. I'm going to have to make another video on this. Yes, I'm not going to say anything else other than that. So I'll make another video on that maybe tomorrow. And I thank you guys for watching. I got to get this up, edited, and then go pick up my kids from school. And again, if you missed my full-length videos on the IS, make sure to click those around my face right now, and I'll catch you in the next one.